Mass Effect Andromeda is the latest release in the critically acclaimed sci-fi RPG series which began a decade ago this year. It's strange when looking back that just 10 years ago, we began our mission as Commander Shepard, reaching out to the corners of the Milky Way galaxy in a quest which would span 2 sequels. It's a memorable gaming experience for myself and for many others alike. In 2017, BioWare take their next steps at evolving this beloved franchise with Mass Effect Andromeda. As a fan of the franchise, my expectations leading to this title were mixed in a fret that either the feel, the look, or some small feature that makes Mass Effect great would be absent. But thankfully, once I finished installing, I was greeted with an atmosphere that whispers to you across a coffee shop and says, "Hey man, it's me, Mass Effect." Strange analogy aside, Mass Effect Andromeda is a successor to the Shepard trilogy, as I'll be referring to moving forward. The Andromeda Initiative departs the Milky Way between Mass Effect 2 and 3, and reaches our new home in Andromeda about 600 years into the future. This time around, you're given the opportunity to play as one of the Ryder twins, either Scott or Sarah, with a slightly disappointing range in creativity when it comes to making the character your own. I usually go with the default for Mass Effect games, so the base Scott is what I saw throughout my 65-hour playthrough. Once character creation is done, you leave cryo-freeze. You, along with your father's protege Cora, make your way to the deck to meet Alec Ryder, your father, an acting pathfinder for the human arc Hyperion. Once there, you prepare to depart to investigate the surface of your new prospective home, Habitat 7. Needless to say, things don't go as expected in a series of events that now places you as the acting pathfinder to face an alien threat known as the Ket, deal with the new race the Angara, and build your crew along the way, sorting through the problems the Initiative faces in the new world. Story-wise, Andromeda hits its peak with the introduction of Jaal, an Angara who rounds out your crew of 6, and the introduction of the Angaran planet of Aya. Revelations are made here, and the through line of the main quest never really hits an interesting or surprising peak for the rest of the game. Jaal is a shining example of a character that reminds me of experiences I had in the Shepard trilogy. He's somewhat of an outcast, and learning about the religion, culture, and history of the Angara through his offbeat and struggling perspective is truly fascinating.
Is there a central Angaran religion?
There are many variations. An almanac could give you an accurate number. But if you are a believer, the essential tenet is, after we die, we are reincarnated.
The crew overall is well balanced, although I wish the roster was at least 2 more. Drac the Krogan is a wizened warrior and a badass. Think of your stereotypical Krogan and mix in a bit of Old Man Logan, that's him. Cora should be where you are. She trained to be the successor to the Pathfinder her whole life, and is met with you, someone who has no experience, taking that position from her. Liam and Vetra have their own murky history as well that adds to their overall character but never really goes anywhere crazy. PB brings a good sense of levity to round out the crew. Like Jaal and yourself, she's an Asari that walks to the beat of her own drum. What I enjoyed the most about bringing her along was the well-written and often funny banter she spewed between Ryder, Jaal, and Drac.
Hey Drac.
Yeah?
Don't go dying anytime soon, okay?
You got it.
The crew gets done what needs be, and there's no doubt as the series progresses the roster will expand and morph as it did post Mass Effect 1. On the mechanical side of things, Mass Effect Andromeda attempts to go back to its roots as a full-fledged RPG like it was back in 2007, but compromises are made. While the RPG qualities never quite reached the height they did in 1, being able to customize loadouts, gear, superhuman profiles, and switch between abilities on the fly make the game feel less 80-20 shooter RPG and more like 60-40. The actual game controls well, shooting feels good, and teleporting to an enemy 100 meters away to slam them with a Vanguard move is as satisfying as ever. As good as combat feels in the game, my overall experience of exploration and even combat was hindered by poor performance issues. A stuttering frame rate, chugging while exploring environments, or straight up stopping motion as the game buffers when I'm zooming across planets in the Nomad can be excusable to a certain point, but at the rate I encounter these issues, they're detrimental to the overall experience. Overall, Mass Effect Andromeda is a welcome return to the world of Krogan and Asari, offering a new cast of characters to explore and fall in love with, as well as a variety of steps forward in it being an RPG and a next-gen title. But a lackluster story and technical issues like heavy frame rate stuttering prevent this from being a truly great endeavor into a new galaxy. PlaystationFollower gives Mass Effect Andromeda 3.5 out of 5 stars.
Let's get you checked out. Look here.
After discovering an unusually high ratio of potential candidates, or golden worlds, the Helios cluster was selected as our destination.